I remember how lonely I would feel every Christmas. No one gets married thinking they're going to get divorced.
I'm complaining, but it's like, ma'am, this is, what did you think? When am I going to get there? Girl, you gave it up.
I can tolerate being around you 100% of the time, so let's do this. You can't go back to that fun couple you were.
There's actually no one more beautiful than you.
Beauty is so much more than surface level.
Guys, their own fathers, their own mothers turn on them. We're a long way from being able to fix anything.
Hey guys, welcome back to Gets It Out. Now today we have a video for men only. This video is titled "She Ruined Her Marriage of 24 Years, Regretted It Instantly, and Was Left with Nothing." This happens to a lot of women these days. Let's get right into it.
Divorce is really hard. I thought I could talk about this.
Fellas, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're sharing a heartbreaking story. She ruined her marriage of 24 years, regretted it instantly, and was left with nothing. We'll explore what led to the downfall of this long-term relationship, the immediate regrets she faced, and the harsh consequences that followed. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest videos. Let's jump right in and break it all down.
I am predicting that divorce rates 7 to 10 years from now are going to skyrocket, and it's not because of the Great Divorce. Today's economy is creating a lot of relationships born purely out of financial necessity. There's men and women in their early...
You know what's funny? It's women like this coaching the young women to get a divorce. I'm just saying, that's what's happening.
20s that are shacking up together now because they can't afford rent on one income, and they've reached a point in their lives that they don't want a roommate. So they're finding a boyfriend or a girlfriend to provide that same kind of financial contribution. Essentially, oh, I like you a lot. I can tolerate being around you 100% of the time. So let's do this. Since they have both already taken that step of living together, buying furniture and all the domestic stuff, it will be easier to take that next natural step. They'll get engaged, and then they get swept up in all of the excitement of that. They'll get married and they get swept up in all the excitement of that. And then a year later, they start having children. And when those kids arrive, that's when it'll hit the fan, because it does. Even in the best, healthiest, most secure relationships where people did spend a lot of time getting to know each other and evaluating fit, genuinely loving each other, those couples slam into the brick wall of parenthood, where priorities change and relationship dynamics shift permanently. You can't go back to that fun couple you were, because now there is a human that needs you. And suddenly you have a lot of people, or you will have a lot of people, that never fully understood the commitment of being with that person they chose for a lifetime. It will be a very good time to be a divorce attorney.
Here's the thing. After hearing what this woman had to say, it's hard not to think that becoming a divorce lawyer might be one of the most secure career choices out there. With the way things are going, it seems like the divorce industry is booming, and it's not hard to see why. Marriage, in its current state, has become more of a risky gamble than a lifelong commitment, especially for men. A lot of young men are looking at the landscape of modern marriage and deciding that it's just not worth the risk. They see the stories of men who lose everything in a divorce: homes, savings, even access to their children. And they're saying, no thanks. Why sign up for a situation where you could be left with nothing simply because the relationship didn't work out? The truth is, marriage today isn't what it used to be. The idea of a lifelong partnership has been overshadowed by the reality that for many, marriage ends in financial and emotional ruin. And with the way the laws are structured, it often feels like men are set up to lose from the start. They're seeing the writing on the wall and choosing to opt out before they even get started. It's not that young men don't want commitment or a family. They do. But the current system has made it clear that marriage, as it stands, is not a safe bet. The risks far outweigh the rewards, and that's why many are deciding to steer clear altogether. They're focusing on their careers, their personal growth, and their happiness, rather than tying themselves to a contract that could leave them devastated. So yeah, if you're considering a career as a divorce lawyer, you're probably in the right place at the right time. But for those young men out there thinking about marriage, they're taking a long, hard look at the reality of it today, and many are deciding that it's just not worth the squeeze.
Divorce is really hard. I thought I could talk about this. I didn't realize how raw it was. And I did not expect having a New York City office that I'm commuting into to stir up all of these feelings. I thought I was so past this. I I moved out 2 years ago. I'm not. I had a whole wall in our house of like family portraits. And not in like a corny, horrible way, like in a cool way. Like I had great pictures. And, you know, I only kept the ones of my son, right? And this is one of them. And it's, wait, let me give you a better version. My son, when he was 8, probably. And we were decorating for Christmas. And I remember how lonely I would feel every Christmas. But then I look at this picture. I'm like, oh, that was our mirror.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you were lonely, why haven't you said nothing to your husband? They do this. Oh, I'm having all these emotions. I hadn't bottled up inside for 10 years. Say something.
I remember when we bought it. I remember when we bought those sofas, or when we installed those light fixtures. I remember the painting that was right above them, like the stuff in the background. You put together a life with someone, right?
You love him.
And you think you're going to be with them forever. And that's your plan. And you go into it fully, earnestly, thinking you're going to be with them forever. And then you're not.
See, this is exactly why guys don't want to get married. What happened till death do us part? My wife sitting right there believes until death do us part. That's what guys need.
I took that of my son on a vacation. I think I was still trying, but unhappy, but trying. It's sad. No one gets married thinking they're going to get divorced. You know, right? What is it? Half of all marriages, or like how many marriages actually end in divorce? Like so many, right? So it's almost like rare that you want to be with someone forever. So if you have that, like, oh, it's so awesome. If you don't have it and you're fighting for it, and that you just can't get there, and then it ends, and then it just feels so awful. I'm like, I'm the one who ended it. This was my choice. I have this, you know, in my apartment. This is all my stuff. This is my choice. You don't expect it to hurt 2 years later.
Chasing happiness is always a failed plan. It's a classic story we've seen unfold time and time again. Here's this woman who had it all. A 24-year marriage, beautiful homes, nice cars, a life that many would envy. But for some reason, it just wasn't enough. She started thinking, maybe I could do better on my own. Maybe there's something more out there. So she decided to throw it all away and get a divorce. But here's the kicker. She was chasing that elusive 20%, thinking it would make her happier, more fulfilled. She forgot that she already had the 80%, a solid, stable life. And now what's left? She's out there on her own, realizing that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. That rude awakening hits hard when she sees that what she thought she wanted was just an illusion. Now, she's finding out the hard way that the world isn't so kind. That 20% she was chasing, it's not as great as it seemed. And as for the 80% she had, well, that's gone. She's no longer marriage material. She's just another one in the dating pool, looking for something she already had and lost. Chads and Tyrones might be happy to entertain her, but that's all it is, entertainment. They're not sticking around, and they're certainly not looking for anything serious. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the reality she created. She traded a good life for a fantasy, and now she's paying the price. The lesson? Sometimes what you think is missing might just be a mirage, and when you chase it, you risk losing everything that truly matters.
This is day 4 of commuting as a divorced gal. I forget that commuting is like really tiring. It felt really different to commute back and forth to the city and not to come home to my big house that I used to live in and to come home to my small apartment. Before, I used to get into my car and drive home to my house, and my husband would.
No, oh, you see that? You see the little twang she has? She turned into full city girl. I got my apartment. I'm out doing my thing. Now she got happy again. Now she feels like she has some purpose. She's banging those 22-year-old guys left and right because they're there to do it, and she's feeling good now. She got some spunk now. I'm telling you, that's what happened.
Be there, and my son, and now it's my plants. I'm complaining, but it's like, ma'am, this is. What did you think? Like you ended your 24-year marriage. You sold your 5-bedroom house. You sold your dream to try a whole new life, and I'm fully in that whole new life now. And even though I've been in it now for a couple of years, renting my apartment, it's still not adjusted. I thought it would feel more natural by now. And I guess I'm getting there. And when am I going to get there? Why aren't I there yet? So like tonight.
You're sad watching her speak because you're never going to get there. You've done that for 20 some odd years. You're used to that. It's embedded in your DNA. And your husband, is embedded in your DNA. And your son is your son. He's embedded in your DNA. You gave it all up.
For example, 3 of my best friends are coming over, and it's different entertaining an apartment versus your house. Like, I don't have all my anymore. I used to have like cabinets where I would keep all of my napkins. Like, I had napkins in every color and all the plates and all the silverware and all. Now I'm like, I don't know where anything is anymore. And I don't even own those things anymore. Now I barely have matching glasses. Like when you get divorced, you split up all your, right? And then you have to go through stuff and you're like, oh, I don't need this. And the platters that I have, I don't use. My refrigerator is just filled up with like flavored seltzer now. But I know my friends don't care, but it's just like it's different. It changes the whole experience. I want to have everything like nice and pretty and I don't know, perfect for them. And they're showing up to just imperfections on imperfections. And they've been over before. I have to just go with the flow, right? I have to just not care about those things now because I know they don't matter, but I'm not going to lie. Like, it was really nice to be able to have people over and just to have everything like beautiful and perfect and matching and being able to go and sit outside in my backyard. Or now I don't have that. Now my kitchen is my living room and my living room is my kitchen. It's just room. I'll make it work. But I would be lying if I didn't say that something about this week that's making it really hard. And girl, you gave it up. Happy now? And I know nobody's saying that to me, right? Nobody's saying that to me except me. So maybe I need to stop saying that to me. Like, yeah, I did give it up, and I gave it up for lots of good reasons. And I put a lot of thought and care, and I did not make a frivolous, knee-jerk decision. When you make a decision to end your marriage and to end your fairy tale, there are consequences, and some of that is that things won't be perfect and beautiful and exactly as they were. They'll be different. You have to make like an educated guess that, okay, I understand that it's going to be different, but I'm still making that choice. But you have no way of knowing how it's going to be until you're in it. So now I'm in it. So I'm going upstairs now, try to make it cute with my mismatched glasses and It'll be fine, right? Yay. I miss my backyard.
What message does this send to the young men watching? It's clear as day. There's no sympathy here, and no one's falling for the same trap. She's 53 years old, wrecked her family and home for what? A fleeting sense of freedom? Independence? But at what cost? She's chasing something that doesn't exist, and now she's left with nothing but regret. Younger men are seeing this play out and thinking, why would I risk my future on someone who's going to do the same thing? The truth is, it's a different era now. Men are smarter, more cautious, and less willing to gamble with their lives on someone who could turn around and leave for no damn reason other than it's her choice. Her ex-husband, on the other hand, is probably moving on just fine, maybe even better than fine. He's likely enjoying life with a new, younger girlfriend, while she's left to deal with the fallout of her decisions. And that's the cold, hard truth. She manipulated the situation, made herself the victim, but now she's facing the reality she created. And let's be honest, most men aren't going to take her seriously anymore. She's become just another fleeting option for the Chads and Tyrones of the world. They're for a good time, but nothing more. The days of being seen as wife material are long gone. Now, she's in a position where her only companions might just be her dogs and cats. And as for her son, well, it's sad but true. She might as well forget about him. The damage is done, and the reality of her choices is settling in. This isn't just a losing game for honorable men. It's a cautionary tale for everyone watching. The consequences are real, and they're not pretty.
A guy will take that abuse for years, and then one day he can't take it anymore and he slaps her. That's all the world will ever see is the moment
Correct.
he slapped her. They won't pay any attention to anything that led up to it. Nothing else matters. He hit a woman. One of the biggest problems that I have with guys going through divorce is that their own families turn on them.
I interviewed one guy, his whole family.
Yep.
His whole family believed he was an abuser for they came around like 5 years later, but
I've seen it happen 1,000 times. Guys, their own fathers, their own mothers turn on them and side with the abusive woman. It's amazing. When you take fundamental biological gynocentrism and you turn it into that, you've got a crazy world. I mean, eventually the society will collapse.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be the start of something new and maybe a little bit better. But until then, I don't see anything changing. People can turn on
Oh, no, society is going to collapse. And then women will start to turn to men more. But I think the independence is going too far, and they won't eat it. They won't eat it until they have to call a fireman, and no fireman can be called, and they have to protect themselves. That's when they'll eat it.
their own children because a woman said he hit me or he was mean to me.
Mm-hmm.
Man, we're a long way from being able to fix anything.
Here's the thing. Choosing peace and walking away is one of the most powerful decisions a man can make.
Mm-hmm.
It's a statement that says, I'm not going to let this destroy me. The feminist movement, under the guise of caring about the well-being of women, has done more damage than good. It wasn't about equality. It was about dismantling the family unit. And now we're seeing the fallout. The sad truth is that men often lose everything by simply telling the truth. Meanwhile, women can gain everything by bending the truth or outright lying. The system is set up in such a way that men bear the brunt of the consequences, especially in divorce. They take on years of emotional abuse, mental strain, and when they finally snap, all anyone sees is that one moment, a slap, an outburst, and they're instantly vilified. No one cares about the years of turmoil that led up to that breaking point. But here's the real kicker. Men have started to wake up. They're realizing that the only way to truly win is by walking away before it gets to that point. By choosing peace, they avoid the trap that's been set for them. They see through the agenda, and they're not willing to sacrifice their sanity, their finances, and their future for a system that's rigged against them. Men go through hell in divorce, often losing not just their possessions, but their dignity and respect.
Everything.
Yet they're expected to just take it, to absorb the blows until they can't anymore. And when they finally retaliate, when they can't hold it in any longer, they're the ones who are condemned. It's a no-win situation, but the power lies in recognizing this, in knowing when to walk away, and in choosing peace over the chaos. It's about taking control of your own life and not letting anyone or any movement dictate your fate. In the end, walking away is the ultimate act of self-preservation, and it's the one thing that can't be taken away from you. Walking away doesn't make a man weak, it makes him wise. He's not running from responsibility. He's running towards a life where he can find real peace and stability. And in a world where telling the truth can cost you everything, sometimes the most powerful thing a man can do is to simply walk away.
I know that I am not the most beautiful woman in the world. I know that you don't even believe I'm the most beautiful woman in the world. And that is okay. If we're looking at it from a neutral perspective, no one, you're not going to be like, Amy is the most beautiful woman in the world. I know that I'm the most special person to you. I know that you're attracted to me. And you're attracted to me as an isolated individual. Are you trying to tell me?
Yeah, I would disagree with what you're saying.
Am I the most beautiful woman in the world?
Because that's the thing is beauty is way more. Beauty in a person is so much wrapped up in that.
100%.
And there's actually no one more beautiful than you. Like genuinely, because there's so much in that. And I want to say that because if you don't feel that from me, that's a big concern of mine. You are the most beautiful person to me because you're the mother of my children, my wife. You are my best friend. I think you're gorgeous. Like all of these things that's beauty. It's not anything else. So I can't just let you say that and move on because that's not true.
Yeah. Thank you.
The end.
This is exactly what I see women get wrong time and time again, because beauty is so much more than surface level. And a big part of that, ladies, is in your actions. It's how you treat him. It's in your personality. It's in your selflessness. It's in your caring and nurturing nature. Those are the things that a good man cares about.
That's a powerful sentiment right there. It's not about being the most beautiful woman in the world. It's about being the most beautiful woman in his world. Beauty in its truest form is about so much more than just looks. Every woman has her own unique beauty, but what really makes a woman stand out is her heart and soul. In a world that's so focused on appearances, it's easy to forget that real beauty comes from within. Sure, there are plenty of pretty faces out there, but what really matters is the kind of person you are on the inside. It's the way you treat others, the kindness you show, and the love you give that truly makes you beautiful. When a man sees a woman as the most beautiful in his world, it's because he sees beyond the surface. He sees the qualities that make her special, the way she cares, the way she supports him, the way she lights up a room with her presence. That's the kind of beauty that lasts, the kind that deepens over time. It's a reminder that real beauty isn't about fitting some universal standard or competing with others. It's about being authentic, being kind, and having a heart full of love. That's what makes a woman truly beautiful in the eyes of someone who loves her. So while every woman might be pretty in her own way, it's the heart and soul that truly elevate her to being the most beautiful in someone's world. And that's something no amount of makeup or fancy clothes can ever replace.
Yeah, and so many guys are trying to find that, but just not finding it. Guys, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you for watching. That was another video for Men Only. And thanks for watching. Get it out. See you next video. Peace.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly.